And we're underway. Welcome to Parade Ice Garden. Kevin Falness along with Brandon Mileski bringing you Minnesota State High School Hockey Tournament action, Section 2A playoffs. It's the St. Louis Park Orioles taking on the Waconia Wildcats. St. Louis Park in orange, traveling right to left. Waconia in purple, traveling left to right. We're underway, shot on net. Again, I'm Kevin Falness, joined by Brandon Mileski, and we're ready for some good action here today, Brandon.
Yeah, section hockey, always my favorite time of the year. You know, state tournament kind of gets all the accolades and well-deserved, but this is always fun because the team that loses, they're done for the year, and for the seniors, their high school careers could be over. So it's always fun to see the passion, intensity you see in these section hockey games.
Steven Ladisor getting the start tonight for the Wildcats, wearing the purple and defending his net on the other end of the ice for the St. Louis Park Orioles. No surprise here, Connor Clares getting the start there for the orange and black. Just underway here, about 28 seconds into the action. We are scoreless, and it should be a pretty even matchup. We were talking a little bit before we hit the air, Brandon, that you'd expect that. The number 8 seed taking on the number 9 seed. It's probably going to be a pretty even affair.
And these two teams have met already once this year. St. Louis Park with a 4-0 victory over Waconia at their place on the road back on January 14th. So two teams that are familiar with each other.
Clares got the start in that game. He made 22 saves in the shutout. He's played all but I think 51 minutes of the season for the Orioles, and from what I'm told, a pretty decent goaltender, and big hopes on him for the future of Park hockey.
Yeah, he's had some big-time games already this year. If you look back at, in December, he had 2 games back-to-back in which he had shutouts against Delano, which is the 4 seed in this section. They beat him 2-0 back on December 10th. And then 2 days later, take down the Orono team. That's the number 2 seed in this section. He had, big-time saves. I believe he had 39 saves versus Delano and 45 versus Orono, and he stopped them all. Pretty good stretch for him.
Happened to watch that game against Delano. Big shot from the point there, delivered by Plender, covered up nicely by Ladisor. We'll get a face-off to his right. Happened to be at that game against Delano early on this season at the St. Louis Park Rec Center, and he put on a show. I mean, he was as good as advertised, and I don't think he needs to be that good tonight, but I think the Orioles would certainly take it.
Good start for St. Louis Park right away. Just 56 seconds in, but already have 3 shots on goal. They're shooting from everywhere.
Make it 4. Shot taken there by Joey Kramer from on top of the circle. Ladisor with a couple, like you said, 5 early big saves. Park with it now at their own blue line. Turnover at neutral ice, picked up there by Halfin. Dump back into the Waconia zone. They'll dump it and get a change at least from the blue line. Down deep to back behind Clares. And it'll be Park that regroups and brings it back up on the right wing. Dumped in by Plender. He goes into the board somewhat awkwardly. Played here by Waconia. Dumped in once again by Park, and they'll get a full-on change. Waconia coming up, trying to split the defense. In purple, it's going to be Weiland who takes the shot. Thought that to hit the protective netting. Must not have, because play carries on. Fulkerson with it now, back behind Clares. Fulkerson driven off the puck by Fortmeyer. Back to the point. Shot taken by Kittleson. That one just barely gets through, and it's Clares that's able to jump on it. 15:03 left to go in this opening period. We are scoreless.
Yeah, athletic save by Clares to keep that one out, diving out at it. And you see the play in the offensive zone for St. Louis Park. They're shooting from everywhere. They've had a couple shots from the points, yet so far they really haven't had traffic in front of the goaltender for Waconia, Steven Ladisor.
Top line back out there for Park. Hopman on the faceoff. Back to his defense, over to Hames. Hames with it now, over to Greenbush in the near right corner. Greenbush plays it, comes back behind Clares. Greenbush delivers on the wing to Hopman. Hopman now with it on the left side. Played away by Waconia. Taken now by Hames again. Hames carries the puck in deep to the right of Ladisor. Neudecker with it now. Number 8 trying to fish it out of there. Undersized, they tell me, but has a motor that doesn't quit. He's a guy that is always moving those feet and plays a smart hockey. His dad explained it in that he plays a lot like Jared Spurgeon. He's smart in that he can avoid the hit, and if he doesn't, he'd get killed. Because he's that,
well, yeah,
not that big.
That size, and he's still standing at game 26. That's very impressive, and leading the team in scoring while doing it. So pretty impressive for a freshman that size to come in and make the impact that he has.
And he's definitely made an impact. Just missed on the hit there. He'll get a line change, and it'll be Park with it now. Lucas Savage drops it for his defensive partner, TJ Remfer. Up to the right wing, played by Owens. Out to center ice, it's Bordewick. Bordewick with a shot taken there by Owens, covered up by Ladisor. Face off to his left. 13:45 in this opening period. We're scoreless at Parade Ice Garden. Again, welcome to Section 2A playoff hockey as the St. Louis Park Orioles in orange take on the Waconia Wildcats.
It was actually an unfortunate break there for Waconia because the defenseman knocked the puck away from Lucas Savage and just happens to pounce right on Owens' stick. It wasn't meant to be a pass, but it turned into one.
Nice little play here by Waconia, defended nicely by the St. Louis Park Orioles. Shot taken, that one goes wide by Chris House. Defended now by St. Louis Park. It's Lucas Savage that tried to bring one free off the left wing.
And something to look forward to as this game goes on. You see how badly that puck bounced out very quickly off those end boards. They're very lively boards, and that's something that goaltenders and even their defensemen and centers that are coming up front need to be paying attention to, because you saw how quickly that puck bounced right back out in the slot. The goaltenders have to be ready for that.
For those that don't know, Brandon Mileski, of course, of KFAN Radio, but also the head coach at Coon Rapids. Have your boys ever played out here at that Parade?
We haven't, but my high school career ended here, so not good memories for me. Thanks for bringing that up, Kevin.
It ended in an injury, or ended because your season came to an end?
Ended because the season came to and guess who it came to an end to?
St. Louis Park. How about that? What year would that be?
Back in 1998.
Holy smokes.
They ended up going to the state tournament. They beat us in the section semifinals.
Of course they did. Go Orioles. Right here on ParkTV, reliving a good memory. Maybe not for you, but for the folks out there across St. Louis Park, they enjoy that. Absolutely. Shot taken from a long ways out. Kick save by Clares. Another shot from the point. That one misses its target. Played by Ballo. This one will get all the way back out. Pursued nicely by Halfin. Halfin beats him to the puck. Now he dances with it back behind Ladisor. Halfin with it, looking for some help from Kramer. Kramer deals it out, and instead it's Waconia that gets it. Hits off the skate of Widboom. Played now by Benson. Up the right wing. Had a man streaking, but couldn't rally it in. Instead, it's dumped in by Park. Covered by Ladisor. And with 12:07 left to go in this opening period, we're still scoreless.
You know, St. Louis Park could have had an odd man rush on that play because there was a bad line change by Waconia. They got stuck with one defenseman out there. And there were two St. Louis Park Orioles forwards, Noah Wildbloom being one of them. And I don't think Wildbloom realized that Waconia had a bad change and didn't realize they had numbers, so ended up turning the puck over there, just trying to dump it in. But they had some numbers there for a short period of time.
Hotman wins that face-off. Now played on the left wing by Greenbush. Back behind, up to the point for Rempher. Rempher leaves for Neudecker. Neudecker looks to take the wrister. It does take it, but it's blocked by Waconia. They've got a 3-on-2 if they hurry. Neudecker drops back to play a little defense. Screen delivered there by Weiland. Goes back out, and it's St. Louis Park that's able to gather it back in. Nice defensive play there by Waconia. They try to get one into the low slot. It looks like it's going to be played with a high stick, so we'll get a whistle.
Big block there by Teddy Hopman, the junior forward for St. Louis Park on that top line. And one of the Waconia forwards had the puck squared out to him right in the slot there, and Hopman does a good job getting his knee down, taking care of that puck. And I know he's got a pretty good goalie behind him, but you never want to be for certain if you can go down and block that shot. Good idea by him.
Bordewick here on the second line center wins that faceoff. Gets it back cleanly to Lucas Savage. Bordewick with it again now. Back behind Ladisor. Lucas Savage again. Lucas Savage with a shot. Just misses the upper left-hand corner. Ladisor dodges a bullet. Lucas Savage with it again. Dancing and wheeling on the right side. Played by Owens. Picked away by Waconia. And it's Owens again. Owens looking for a guy to feed to. Dances with it in the right circle. Big shot taken from the point by Fortmeyer. Played by Lucas Savage. Over to Owens. Owens with it in the far corner. Trying to kick it away is Fortwengler there for Waconia. It's back to his partner. Here's Lucas Savage once again. Lucas Savage drives it all the way back behind the Ladisor. Near corner now. Bordewick amongst the defenders there for the Orioles. They'll go all the way down to the other end of the ice. That will be an icing. We're down to 10:27 in this opening period. We are still scoreless at Parade.
Smart play there by Kevin Kittleson, the senior defenseman for Waconia. been bottled up in your own zone for a good period of time, for about a minute or so, and says, forget it, I'm just throwing it off the glass and take the icing and get some fresh guys out there.
Third line on there for Park. Windboom loses the draw there to Waconia. Kramer with it, and up comes Waconia, trying to drive a majority of the play. I would say, Brandon, has been about the St. Louis Park Orioles, but there have been a couple of golden opportunities for Waconia early on.
You know, St. Louis Park has probably controlled more of the zone time and had more shots on goal, but actually, you know, maybe one of the best chances has come from Waconia. They've had a couple in the slot there, where St. Louis Park has really, other than that last play there by Lucas Savage, has had trouble getting to the middle.
Bad turnover by Rempfer, almost pays the ultimate price there, and instead it was Schiffman who couldn't get his man to go to the slot. But boy, that was a real bad turnover and a real poor spot. Dumped in there by Park by Widboom, and back comes Waconia once again. Park just off a fresh line change from the defensive core. Get some fresh legs out there, and they are able to rally in the defensive effort. In the near corner, it's going to be Fortmeyer on the defensive effort. In comes Waconia on the right wing. In the near circle. Dump back out to neutral ice. Played by Waconia into the scorekeeper's box, and that will bring a whistle with 9:09 left to go in period 1.
Talking with Terry Keesley, the head coach for the St. Louis Park Orioles, earlier today, he stressed how important it was for them to kind of get that first goal. You know, I think any section playoff game, that first goal is so huge, because as the game goes on, the pressure can mount for some of these kids, knowing that it could be the last game of the year, it could be your last high school game of your career, and there's more pressure in this game than other games, and kind of getting that first goal can be a confidence boost for whoever scores it, and it can really ratchet up on the pressure on the opposing team more so than a regular season game.
Shot taken there by Waconia. That'll be Kevin Kittleson with the drive that misses its mark. Gathered in here by Plender. He can't quite get it outside the zone, and instead it is Waconia that gathers it in the far circle. Shot taken, directed wide by Clares, and in comes Park as they regroup. Delayed offsides, waved off. And here comes Park once again. One
thing Waconia is doing well is when they are getting shots, they do have bodies near the net. They're trying to attack the net. St. Louis Park has had a lot of shots, but it's been from the perimeter and haven't really been great thus far at getting right on top of the goaltender.
Fulkerson tries to hit a guy on the right wing. Instead, it's intercepted by Park. They bring it in offsides, and that'll bring a whistle right in front of us here with 8:20 left to go in the opening period. Good action thus far. A bit of a chess game. Like you said, that first goal is going to be so important to both teams. There's Park with a shot there from the point. That'll be Nick Owens with it. Screen created by Lucas Savage. Lucas Savage amongst the defenders there now for Park. And in comes Bordewick. Bordewick on the near circle. Played by Owens. Owens circling to the top of the circle, takes the shot. That one just goes wide, doesn't miss by much, and it was Ladouceur that was able to redirect it wide left. This is going to be Hames with a shot, goes 5-hole, blocked aside. There's a backhand, and that one is covered by Ladouceur as well. A little stick tap there by Nick Owens as the Ladouceur is able to jump on it.
I was just talking about St. Louis Park not doing a great job so far of getting guys in the net, but on that shift they did, and so far this line of Owens, Bordewick, and Lucas Savage, 2 consecutive shifts in a row in which they've been in the offensive zone the entire time. So far, they've been impressive, and pretty impressed with Lucas Savage, the size and skill that he has.
Shot taken, blocker saved by Ladouceur. Nice shot directed on net by Fortmeyer. Fortmeyer with it again, gathers it in at neutral ice, dumps it in, played by Halfin. Halfin looking for the shot, saw a lot of legs there in his way, so instead took it to the top of the zone and dumped it in. Park gathers it in. This time it's Kramer back behind Ladouceur. Hames at the point. Fancy stick work, denied. Wilsey now. Played by Park. That one escapes everybody and kept into the zone by Fortmeyer, but just barely. Hames with it now in the far corner. Defended by Molinari. Royce now. Royce up the right wing. That one gets all the way through. In hot pursuit is Owens. Check that, Balo. Now it's Fortmeyer with it. Trying to get it out of the zone. Fans yelling them, get it out of the zone, and they finally successfully do. Line change coming here for the Orioles. And in come the Wildcats into the offensive zone. Wheels and deals. Shot taken there by Royce. And here come the Orioles once again, right in front of their own bench. Keasley watches anxiously. This one played by Greenbush. Shot on net. Neudecker. Bauer Neudecker, the freshman there for the St. Louis Park Orioles, got that one in through. Nice little one-timer attempt by Hopman. That'll go into the near corner. A conglomeration of bodies. That one centered for Bauer. He was tied up, and instead it's Waconia that takes it the other direction. Weiland on the attack. Bauer with the defensive move. Dragged in off the puck. Questionable there, no call. That one was a nice shot by Weiland. Glove saved, directed wide by Clares.
That Weiland seems to, every time the Waconia Wildcats have the puck in the offensive zone, he seems to have the puck on his stick.
This is Kramer directing it into the zone. Check that Benson for the Waconia Wildcats. Mix up there by the Oriole defense. This one will be Plender with it. Oh, and a nice little tuck job there by the Waconia Wildcats, and a nice left leg pad save by Clares.
That's a big time save by Clares. Waconia wins the battle out of the corner. It was a 2-on-2, almost turns into 2-on-0. Number 40, Alex Fortwingler on the wraparound, and he had a little space there between Clares and the post, but just went around too far. But then he still almost got the 5-hole on top of that. But great job by Clares to get across and make that big save.
Another big blocker save by Clares. Fortwingler again with the shot. Two consecutive big shots there by Fortwingler. Two consecutive big saves by Clares. Blown wheel at the blue line. That'll mean Waconia has to regroup. 4:49 left to go in this opening period. We are still scoreless at Parade Ice Gardens. Thank you for joining us for tonight's broadcast as the St. Louis Park Orioles take on the Waconia Wildcats. It's Section 2A playoff hockey. Winner gets the very fun task of taking on Breck in 2 nights. Back again here at Parade Ice Garden. The number 1 seed in Section 2A. Of course, that is no easy task, but first you got to take care of the matter at hand, and that is either get past St. Louis Park or get past Waconia, depending on what perspective you're looking at it from.
Yeah, tough draw for whoever wins this game. Breck kind of the clear-cut top seed in this section. And you know, St. Louis Park, as I mentioned earlier, they've had success against some of the other teams. Orono, the number 2 seed, they defeated earlier in the season by a score of 1-0. The number 4 seed, Delano, they defeated 2-0. So they've shown they can compete with a bunch of those teams, but it's almost one of those where you'd rather have the 6 or the 11 or the 10 seed than the 8 or the 9, just because of knowing who your second round matchup is going to be against.
Definitely tough, but like we say about the Americans in Sochi, you know what? No matter what your draw is, you're going to have to get past the tough teams. So you might as well face them at some point, and now is as good a time as any. You
know, and St. Louis Park has a goaltender that you know can steal some games for you.
That's absolutely right. Hopefully, who knows? Some magic might happen and might. Got
to get there first.
That's exactly right. Earlier tonight, by the way, Chaska took down Minneapolis Washburn right on this same sheet of ice. The Hawks come away with a 5-0 shutout over Minneapolis Washburn. And yesterday it was Mount Wastanka with a 6-0 victory over Richfield. That gets you up to date on the scores as we know them through 2A hockey.
Great job by the defenseman for St. Louis Park there, number 15, TJ Remfer, clearing. You know, that St. Louis Park does have a size advantage in some cases, and got to make sure you're strong in front of the net, and they boxed out very well there.
Waconia with it here. Joe Benson with it. Fakes the shot, tries to dance around Hames. Instead knocked off the puck. Waconia with it again now, back behind Clares. Bauer Neudecker with it. He'll dump it out to neutral ice, and it's intercepted by the Wildcats.
Pretty smart play there by the freshman. You don't have a great breakout pass. They just got some chances against you. Just flick it out into the neutral zone and fight for another day.
Flip it right out to the red line, and Park is able to regroup, and here they come again. Neudecker sprung. You can tell he's got some speed. Nice defensive effort there by Kallenberg to knock him off the puck, but he had the Jets going there for a second. And momentarily he saw some daylight. We'll get a whistle now to the right of Ladouceur. It looks like the net was knocked off its post.
You can tell here Neudecker had some speed going, and the defenseman for Waconia, number 37, Jack Kallenberg, just does a good job of getting that poke check. And if he hadn't got it, I think Neudecker would have been past him.
So face-off coming in the offensive zone, won by Park, directed directly onto Ladouceur, who jumps on it. Top line out there for St. Louis Park. It's going to be Hopman in between Neudecker and Greenbush. This one back to the point. Another shot taken towards the 5-hole. This one delivered by Charlie Hills, and again jumped on by Ladouceur.
That was kind of a change-up thrown at Ladouceur there, and they've had a bunch of shots from the point, and they seem to all hit Ladouceur right in the stomach or right in the pads.
Hopman again, right back again to Hills. This one delivers back to his defensive partner, hits a shin pad on his way to the net, and it'll go into the left corner. Here comes Hills once again. He deals to the left wing. That one taken, and that one just doesn't quite get through. Another shot taken. That one might have been blocked by his own forward. Curtis Greenbush, I think, got a leg on that one. Takes another shot on Ladouceur, and another save by Ladouceur to keep this scoreless.
Yeah, I think Greenbush stopped the initial one. Don't know if it would have gone wide or hit the net or even would have gone through. He was right at the post there, and it goes out to the left side of Ladouceur and thrown right back at him. A smart play there by Neudecker, knowing that Ladouceur was out of position, trying to get back to the post. He tried to throw it right back off him and into the nets, but unfortunately for St. Louis Park, that did not go in.
Bordewick on the face-off this time. Caught in by Nick Owens. Owens takes a shot and it goes well wide of its mark on the right side. Back to the blue line here. Defensively for Park. Played by Nick Owens in the left corner. Back to Greenbush, back behind the net. Takes shots, he scores! Big shot taken there by St. Louis Park, right in the blue paint, delivered by Lucas Savage, and it gives the St. Louis Park Orioles the 1-0 lead.
Yeah, the play by his line mate Bordewick behind the net throws it back towards the near side to Lucas Savage, and that can throw a goaltender off where you think the forward for St. Louis Park is going to go around the net for the wraparound. You throw it back to the near side. All of a sudden, he's sliding over out of position. I believe that opened up the 5-hole, and Lucas Savage starts the scoring off for St. Louis Park.
You said this would be a big moment. That's what Keesley told you, the head coach of the St. Louis Park Orioles. Get that first goal, and we'll see how they react to it. Comes with a minute 49 left to go in the opening period. St. Louis Park with the 1-0 lead.
And I believe it will be Lucas Savage from Bordewick, the official scoring there.
Lucas Savage, that'll be his 8th goal of the season, 17th point. Good job by the senior, being at the right place at the right time in front of the blue paint to give the Orioles the 1-0 lead.
After looking at the replay again, I was incorrect there. Ladouceur never did slide over. He just happened to leave that 5-hole wide open.
Nice shot there by Waconia. That one delivered by Joe Benson. Directed wide by the Park defense before it got through to Clares. Big first goal here. Now down to a minute 15 left to go in the first period. Again, Park on top, 1-0. Lucas Savage again. Nice save by Ladouceur. Drops down into the butterfly. Shuts down that 5-hole. I don't know if these guys are doing it on purpose, but a lot of shots directed at that 5-hole. Waconia with it. And again, it's going to be Fulkerson. Directs it to the left of Clares. St. Louis Park regroups. They are back up through neutral ice. That would be Widboom, who is surrounded by purple jerseys. Now it's Balo for the Wildcats. Blocked by Park. And it looks like it'll be icing on the play, and then we'll bring the faceoff all the way down to the right of Ladouceur. 32 seconds left to go in the first. 1-0 thanks to a Lucas Savage goal.
Yeah, Waconia really struggling right now to make some tape-to-tape passes. I believe, I'm not sure what the exact call was. Might have been offsides on that one. Now they are going back farther, but Waconia struggling to make those tape-to-tape passes. I think for them to be successful, they just got to get the puck to the red line, get it deep, and get on the forecheck and win some battles in the offensive zone.
Top line back out there for Park, but it's Waconia that wins that draw. Neudecker in pursuit. Oh, Neudecker delivers a patented Keith Ballard type hip check. Small kid, but my God, that was a heck of a
His hip checks are at everyone else's knees.
Yeah. That was a good check, though. Clean. A nice shot taken there by St. Louis Park. It'll be Greenbush who takes it into the right shoulder of Ladouceur, and he'll cover up, and with 9 seconds left to go in the first, still 1-0 Park.
That was a pretty significant save by Ladouceur there. That was a nice move by Greenbush. Ends up trying to go top shelf near side, and they've been going low on Ladouceur all day, and he still was able to recognize the high shot there and control the rebound at the same time. And with 9 seconds left, last thing you want to do is give up a goal that late in the period.
That one just barely escapes the zone, so it'll be The Wildcats have play it, directed back in, and we will get the whistle for the end of period number 1. So after 1 period of play at St. Louis Park with the 1-0 advantage with just under 2 minutes left to go in the first, Lucas Savage puts the St. Louis Park Orioles on top 1-0. That's where we sit after the opening 17.
Yeah, I thought a very impressive period by the line that ended up scoring that goal. We talked about it before they did, but the line of Owens, Bordewick, Lucas Savage, I thought best line on the ice the entire period. They're in the offensive zone. They're forechecking. They always had constant possession of the puck, and it paid off there on that final goal, the only goal of the period for Lucas Savage.
So that's where we sit after the opening period. We'll step aside, and then when we return, we'll bring you the second period of action. Again, it's Section 2A playoffs right here on ParkTV, so thanks for tuning in. I'm Kevin Falness. That's Brandon Mileski, joined by Paul Broden and Kurt Meyer. Stay with us, and we'll be back here shortly.
Hi, I'm Betty White, and I'd like you to meet my friend here. This is Red. He's a puppy with a very special job to do, to be a guide dog for someone who is blind. Together they'll travel the world in safety and with confidence. Guide dogs for the blind provide their services free of charge, thanks to the generosity of people like you. Please visit guidedogs.com to learn how to help today.
Jacob Lucas Savage, the only goal in this one at the end of the first period, gives St. Louis Park the 1-0 advantage over the Waconia Wildcats. Welcome back to Parade Ice Garden, Section 2A playoff action as the Orioles host the Wildcats here as they try to advance to the semifinal round in this quarterfinal matchup. I'm Kevin Falness along with Brandon Mileski. We're bringing you this Minnesota State High School Hockey League action from Parade Ice Garden. Brandon, we saw a pretty decent first period, and Park comes out on top with the extra effort.
Yeah, we talked about the importance of that first goal, and St. Louis Park gets it towards the end of that first period, and now, you know, as important as that goal is, you know, the next one's almost just as important here because you got a goaltender for St. Louis Park and Connor Clares that can shut the door pretty quickly. Waconia, I don't think wants to get down 2 goals in this game. And so that'll make this next one a big one.
We don't have the official stats, but I think we both pretty much agree that Park, for the most part, owned most of the offensive output there.
Yeah, I thought they did. They controlled the play for the most part. They had longer forechecks, I would think, say than Waconia. Waconia kind of more one and done on some of their chances, though they did have a couple good chances.
So here we go, underway for the second period. Opening faceoff won by St. Louis Park, but now controlled by Waconia. Played here now by Jeff Balo on the left side. Back out to the point. Shot taken there directly by Kittleson. That one blocked aside just before it got to Clares. And this one in close in the low slot by Royce. Batted away by the Orioles.
And that was a tricky good save there by Clares, goaltender for St. Louis Park. It seemed pretty innocent, a wrist shot that wasn't overly powerful from the point, but he was screened that whole time. There's lots of traffic, and for him to fight through that screen and get that blocker out on that near side at the last second, that was a very good effort, even though he made it look easy.
Nice job by Kittleson to keep it in the offensive zone there for Waconia. Bad turnover there by St. Louis Park. Played by Weiland, back to Kittleson again. Kittleson's shot doesn't quite make it through to Clares, and now here comes Lucas Savage, the guy with the only goal on the evening for either team to give St. Louis Park the 1-0 advantage. And it's played by Waconia. Waconia coming out now. Little 2-on-3 action. Nice defensive effort there by St. Louis Park. Owens with it. Owens out battles the Wildcats. Played out to neutral ice. Greenbush almost springs himself. Now Owens with it. Ladisor forced to kick it aside. Waconia with it. Trying to get it back outside of their net. Nice forecheck there by the Orioles. Almost gets a shot on net.
Risky play by Benson, the defenseman from Waconia there, trying to stick handle a couple feet away from his net. Not sure if that's the place you want to get fancy.
Rubin in pursuit of Plender. Back to Neudecker. For Fortmeyer. And that's going to be a penalty. First penalty of the night. It's going to go against, I'd have to assume, Fulkerson. Got the hip into, I think, I don't know, tripping.
Yeah, it was almost a knee to knee. It wasn't your typical trip because he was attempting to make a body check here, as you can tell, but he does get knee to knee, and that's what the ref calls. And St. Louis Park's going to go on the power play, and Waconia has really struggled on the penalty kill this year, just clipping at a 74.5%. So I know it's something that the head coach for Waconia, Dan Benham, was worried about heading into this game. They've stayed out of the box up until this point. We'll see how they react to having to kill off the penalty.
Hopman, Greenbush, and Neudecker. Those are your forwards there for the St. Louis Park power play. Just underway here with the extra man. Great defensive play there by Balo, keeping his stick on the ice, forces the play back in the Park zone. Turnover as both guys wipe out at the blue line. Here comes Neudecker. Tries some fancy stick work. Played here by Park. Back for Neudecker again. Neudecker back to the point. This will be Larson. Back to Neudecker, takes the shot. Gloved out of midair by Ladouceur. Face off coming to his right.
Yeah, St. Louis Park plays an overload power play, and once they get it up top to the point there, they'll kind of roll in an umbrella. And the first time, as you mentioned, as the play was going on, Jeff Below with a great play by Waconia to pick off that pass, but they attempted that pass again on that second one there to Neudecker, who gets the shot on goal.
Bordewick here for Park, but it's won by Royce to the right of Ladouceur. Two Park offensive players going at it, including Lucas Savage, along with Greenbush. Make that Bordewick. Lucas Savage here ties up his man. Tries to free it for Bordewick. Instead, it is there's a big chance there for Lucas Savage, and almost a one-timer for Bordewick. Lucas Savage with it here in the near corner. Back out to the point for Hames. Leaves it for Owens. Owens back to Lucas Savage. Lucas Savage on the near boards. Cross ice feed over to Fortmeyer. Takes his shot, just misses its target. Lucas Savage. Back out now, it's Hames, and another whistle.
Yeah, number 5, Lucas Savage, is going to go to the box for a slash here, killing off here now, negating the last 27 seconds of that St. Louis Park power play. So we'll go 4 and 4 for 27. And then Waconia will have a power play for a little over a minute and a half.
So that's where we sit. 13:25 left to go in period number 2. It's 1-0 in favor of St. Louis Park, and we'll have a little 4-on-4 hockey. Waconia looking for their 4th man. Face-off coming to the left of Claire's.
It's an interesting face-off setup for St. Louis Park. Neudecker was way wide, which can be fine if you win the draw, but if you lose the draw like they did, they're lucky the pass out to the defenseman wasn't able to be completed. Otherwise, he would have had a free range shot from the point.
Icing the call on this one. That'll bring the face-off to the right of Ladouceur. What do you think is the thinking there on why that setup?
Well, they had the defenseman set up back, so I'm assuming they wanted to win the puck back, and then all of a sudden Neudecker can fly on the far side. You can get him going on the rush with a lot of space.
Neudecker with it here on the face-off win by Greenbush. Shot taken there from a long ways out by Remfer. Relatively easy save by Ladouceur. Now back behind him, it'll be House. Back over for Fort Wengler. Waconia now at full strength. They get the power play now for 1:26 and counting. Trailing in the hockey game 1-0. This will be their first power play of the evening. Fort Wengler drops it in to the Park zone. Cleared aside by St. Louis Park all the way other end of the ice. Helped kill off a good chunk of that power play. 1:09 left to go in the extra man. Waconia regroups, led by Joe Benson. Benson, nice work keeping it inside the offensive zone. Avoids the face. And shot taken, and wow, what a save by Claire's. That one just about goes in back behind the 5-hole, but Claire's is able to shut it down, and I don't know how that one stayed out.
Yeah, Fulkerson makes the pass out of the corner, and he wanted a teammate on the back door, and Claire's knew that and ended up hitting a skate right out in front of the slot, and all of a sudden you see from our vantage point that 5-hole was wide open, and fortunately for St. Louis Park, they got it.
Geez, nice face-off win there for Waconia. Shot taken by Rassman from in close, point-blank chance, and a nice save again by Claire's. Keep this scoreless on their end. Power play really clicking here for Waconia. 33 seconds left to go with the man advantage. Still trailing 1-0. Nice clear there by St. Louis Park as Waconia will take that opportunity to get a full-on change.
I tell you, Waconia, they don't spend a lot of time setting it up. They get the puck and they want to go right to the net with it.
19 seconds left to go in their first power play. Still over with time left to spare. That one directed all the way down to 10 seconds left on the power play. And here comes Waconia, one last gasp chance. It'll be led by Kittleson. Oh, nice, another defensive effort there for Nick Owens. Gets it back out. Lucas Savage out of the box, directs it into the offensive zone, and that'll bring us back to 5-on-5 hockey. 11:13 left to go in the second, still 1-0 in favor of the Orioles. Jacob Lucas Savage just out of the box, the only goal in this one back at the end of the first period. Waconia drops it into the St. Louis Park zone. Played here by the Orioles. Owens with it. Gets it into the Waconia defensive zone. 10:49 and counting. Played there by Hills. Touched by Waconia. That'll be Hames defending now. Sticked aside, and that's going to be a power play here once again for Waconia as a delayed penalty sends Lattisour to the bench for the extra man on the delayed call. Park finally touches it, touched up by Hames, and that will bring the second power play in a row here for the Wildcats.
Yeah, Charlie Hills, the defenseman for St. Louis Park, is going to go to the box and didn't even know if he was going to be playing tonight as of yesterday with battling through an ankle injury and didn't even suit up fully in practice, but he's out here tonight as a senior. Of course, you don't want to miss a section hockey game, and he's in the box for holding. I kind of missed the penalty. I didn't really see it. That being said, a lot of these penalty calls are always in the offensive zone.
And that one certainly was. Nice chance there by Waconia. A shot taken by Rassman right off the face. A big windup from the point there for Kittleson. That one misses its mark. But again, 90 seconds on their first power play. They go 0 for 1. This is their second power play of the night in succession. Minute 40 left to go in this second attack. End-to-end rush here for the Wildcats. That one is a relatively easy save by Clares. Shot taken by Royce. Royce with it again. Now it's Fulkerson. Fulkerson's shot gets into the skates of Rempher. St. Louis Park able to bat it out to neutral ice.
Yeah, Waconia really on their both power plays, they've shown that they'll have one. They take one guy behind the net, and the other two are going to go to the slot, and he's just looking to make the pass right away. They're not going to spend a lot of time handling the puck along the perimeter of the offensive zone.
St. Louis Park killed off the first half of that power play, down to 57 seconds left to go in the man advantage. That one gets all the way through from center ice.
That was a big defensive play there by Lucas Savage because Waconia had a forward stretching that could have had a breakaway had that pass gone through.
Here comes Waconia again, another end-to-end rush. This time for Weiland. Weiland back to the point. Big drive there by Kallenberg, and it gets through after it hits a shin pad, but save again by Clares.
Yeah, and Clares was able to see that the entire time. You saw a big wide alley there on the shot where Clares was able to see it the entire time, and he's good enough where he's not going to get beat on that shot, though. We did have a late slash on the goalie's glove hand there by number 4 for Waconia, Blaine Wilsey. So we'll see if Waconia starts trying to get in Clare's head. A lot of times when you have a goalie that's frustrating and you can't score on, you'll see him start to take those little extra hacks around after the whistle's done.
Lucas Savage won that faceoff, and then he ends up sending it the length of the ice. We're down to 28 seconds in the second man advantage of the night for Waconia. Still trailing on the scoreboard 1-0. Jacob Lucas Savage, the only goal, with about 2 minutes left to go in the first period to give the Orioles the 1-0 lead. Clinging onto it now, thanks in part to some good effort here by Connor Clares, the goaltender of record to this point for the Orioles. We have an icing. That's a no-no. As a coach, you don't like to see a icing play on a power play, of course.
Yeah, misconnected on the stretch pass there across the neutral zone. And Lucas Savage is on a lot of that penalty kill for St. Louis Park, and he's kind of a wrecking ball over there. He's just knocking bodies all over the place on the far boards in front of his own bench.
So offensive draw here for St. Louis Park. 5 seconds left to go in the penalty kill. 8:25 left to go in the period, and they are back to full strength. Another successful penalty kill for Terry Keesley and his crew. Here comes Waconia, though. 5-on-5 hockey. 8 minutes and change left to go in the second. 1-0 from Parade Ice Garden. Welcome to Park TV. Again, I'm Kevin Falness along with Brandon Mileski, calling all the play-by-play action here of this Section 2A quarterfinal matchup between the St. Louis Park Orioles and the Waconia Wildcats. Waconia with it here, back to the point. Shot taken on a little snapshot by the right point. Another shot taken here. This one will be by Nichols. 5-hole shutdown by Clares. And here comes St. Louis Park. 2-on-1 if they hurry. Shot delivered, a nice pass over to the left point, back into the low slot. That'll be TJ Halfin with the final shot, but another save by Ladiseur.
It's a great play by Fortmeyer at his own blue line. The defenseman almost stepping up as a forward. And it looked like one of those plays where you just want to, you got the last couple feet of the blue line, you want to get the puck out of the zone, and you thought he was just maybe going to chip it off the boards and out, and all of a sudden he sneaks that play, passes it over, and created a mini 2-on-1 there for a second.
And here comes another icing call. That'll bring the face-off to the left of Clares. He'll get company in the defensive end there for St. Louis Park. We're down to 7:11 left to go in this second period. Still 1-0 in favor of St. Louis Park.
Yeah, you just saw the 2-on-1 on the replay there. And unfortunately for Fortmeyer, he's left right-handed. He had to catch that thing on his backhand and then have to make the pass on his backhand.
Here comes Park trying to get it out of their own zone. This will be Charlie Hills with it. Defended by Waconia. In the near corner. Blake Bauer, make that Bauer Neudecker waiting for it. And now here comes Neudecker again.
Big hit by Casey Plender for the Orioles defenseman in his own corner.
Hills with it and sets it up for Bauer. Bauer has a man, but he keeps it, takes the shot, score! Big shot taken by Teddy Hopman. He gets it back in behind Ladiseur. 2-0 Orioles.
And Hopman's going to get credit for the goal there, and maybe he won't get credit. I don't know if that ever got to him. It might have hit a skate out in front. I don't know if he ever did get his stick on that play. A great play by Neudecker. Using his speed, all of a sudden his speed creates a 2-on-1. Does a great job of moving that thing to his backhand, passing it across. It was a wide open net. Like I said, I'm not sure whether Hopman did get a stick on that or if it hit the Waconia defenseman's skate, but either way, it's in the net, and St. Louis Park has a 2-0 lead.
Looking at the replay, I think they're going to give credit to Bauer Neudecker, who will get his team-leading 13th goal of the season to give the Orioles the 2-0 advantage. Officially, they are going to give it to Hopman, but I think, looking at the replay, it really looked like Neudecker bounced it in off the defenseman's skate. Either way, I don't think they care. 2-0 is going to be your score. Whether he gets a goal or assist, he's still your leading scorer there for the Orioles and helped to give St. Louis Park the 2-0 lead here with 6 minutes left to go in the second.
And you were kind of waiting all game for him to get some time and space. He really hasn't had a lot of opportunity in this game other than a rush earlier in the game. And we're going to get another penalty. I believe this one's going to be on Waconia.
Yeah, this one's going to be Schiffman. Takes his man down in a little bit of a wrangle free-for-all. And it'll be Schiffman that goes to the box, I assume, for holding. Holding
you are correct.
So it'll be a second power play here for Park. They, of course, 0 for 1 with the man advantage, looking for their second attempt, still with the 2-0 lead, now down to 5:45 left to go in the second.
Yeah, through a stretch of this period, I thought Waconia, even though they hadn't scored on their 2 power plays, had at least created some offensive momentum out of it. And all of a sudden, it's amazing how one play can change it, because now all of a sudden, St. Louis Park's going to be in the offensive end on the power play after scoring that goal.
Nice play there by Waconia, sending it the length of the ice. Helped kill off the first 15 seconds of this power play. Played by Remper. Big forecheck there on the penalty kill by Waconia. But it's Park that's able to regather the troops, and here they come on the rush.
You know, Waconia's penalty kill has not been great this year, as I mentioned earlier, but they have scored 8 shorthanded goals, which is an outstanding number for 25 games, and you just saw them try to get an offensive chance there.
And this would be a key moment for one. If they could use a changing of the tide, it would be right here on a shorthanded effort, and I'm guessing that at this point, that's when they're going to want to try to do some damage, and that's exactly the chance they'll get here for Waconia. Nice play there all the way through, almost, as it was set up nicely for Fulkerson, who couldn't quite get the trigger pulled. I think we're going to have another penalty. And we are, a slash. And it's going to be St. Louis Park. So we're back to 4-on-4 hockey. A minute 3 of 4-on-4 hockey And then Waconia will end up with their third power play.
And there it is again, you know, the offensive chance for Waconia on a great pass over from Royce to Fulkerson. I didn't even think he was going to make that pass because it looked like Fulkerson was covered, but he still slides across, somehow gets a shot on goal. But that offensive chance, being in the offensive zone, created the penalty for St. Louis Park.
So some open ice here for St. Louis Park and Waconia. 4-on-4 hockey for a minute. Owens over for Lucas Savage. Lucas Savage in the far offensive corner. Lucas Savage with it. Deals back to the point. It's Fortmeyer. His shot blocked by Fortwengler. And the puck will be played back behind Ladouceur. Here comes Waconia. 4-on-4 hockey. Puck goes all the way down, blocked by a skate. Gathered in by Hames. Hames with it. Back over for Owens. Back to Hames again. Hames back behind the net, and he'll try to lead a rush back the other direction. Nice defensive play by Fortwengler on the forecheck. Creates the turnover. Fortwengler dances with it. Back to the point. Shot taken there by Kittleson. Covered by Clares, and we'll get a face-off to his left. 8 seconds left to go on the 4-on-4 hockey before Waconia goes back on the power play.
There you're seeing the shot on goal for Waconia, and that was all created by a turnover by the St. Louis Park defenseman. And you know, you have to know the situation of the game when you're up 2-0 with 4 minutes to go in the second period. You know, you can play a little bit smarter, a little bit safer game than if you're down 2-0 and trying to stick handle with, especially as a defenseman where you don't have guys behind you, that can turn into a dangerous play.
Kittleson outworks his attacker. Now we're on the power play for Waconia. A shot taken there, but blocked by the body of Charlie Hills. So again, 49 seconds left on the power play. Third power play chance here for Waconia. 0 for 2 to this point. It's Park that tries to get it out. Blocked in at the point by Benson. Benson again with it. Over for Fulkerson. Right point, shot taken by House. Blocked by Park. Shot taken there. That'll be Fulkerson. Blocked aside, goes into the upper right-hand corner over the glove of Clares, and that cuts the lead in half. A power play marker there for Waconia.
They've tried this play almost on every single power play. One guy posted up behind the net, Wayne Gretzky style, and then they'll usually have 1 or 2 guys going to the net in the slot. This time the recipient for Waconia, number 19, Matt Fulkerson, catches it. Good job by him to recognize that when you're in tight like that, the goalie's going to go down most times. He goes up top, upper right corner, and a much-needed goal with 3:10 here remaining in the second period for Waconia to get back in this game.
Right over the glove of Clares. Power play marker there for Waconia. Cuts the lead in half, and we're down to 3 minutes left to go in the second. So that's where we sit here. Big matchup here on tap at Parade Ice Garden. Shot from the point. That almost got through, too. Shot by, that'll be Fortmeyer from the right point. But a nifty save there by Ladouceur, helped by his defense, and that will bring a face-off to his left with 2:49 left to go in the second.
Yeah, shot from the point. Great shot by Fortmeyer. And how Ladouceur was able to not only make that save, but control that rebound when he couldn't have been able to see what was going on there because a St. Louis Park forward was camped right in front of him.
Halpin with it here now for St. Louis Park. Leaves it for Widboom. Widboom gets it back out to the point. Shot taken, blocked aside by Ladouceur. Tries to clear, does Waconia, but kept into the point by Plender. Played by Waconia. Far right corner. Halpin creating problems. Into the legs of the Wildcat defense. This will be Kallenberg with it. Kallenberg again. Tries to get it out, almost does, but it's gloved aside by Kramer. Kramer to Halpin. Halpin with it again. Breaks through a couple of checks. He's being hounded now by the third guy in purple. Kicks a pass out to the forward. That'll be Fortmeyer.
That was a great pass by Halpin. He was tied up on the boards. He really couldn't move his upper body, and maybe he's a soccer player during the fall. If not, they might want to pick him up, even though he is a senior now.
You could see him look to see what his options were and ended up using the leg. Nice shot there by Rubin. Just goes wide of its intended target. 1:28 left to go in this second period. Now 2-1 in favor of St. Louis Park as Waconia cuts the lead in half on the power play. dumped into the St. Louis Park end. Neudecker with it. Just outside of the zone. Played here by Greenbush. Greenbush dumps it in. Line change coming here for St. Louis Park, defensively at least. Neudecker in attack mode. Down to a minute, 50 seconds to be exact in this second period. Shot there by that one. It took a lot of hops there for, it was Charlie Hills with a shot from the point. Down to 37 seconds now. Centering pass there for Greenbush. Makes it all the way through. Balo in pursuit. Here comes Neudecker. Leaves for Greenbush. Down to 23 seconds. Greenbush again. Greenbush a shot. Back to the point again. This is going to be Hames. Hames takes the shot. A lot of action there in the blue paint. 6 seconds. 5. And they'll clear it, and that should bring an end to the second period. A frantic finish, but still St. Louis Park clinging to the lead. Now the lead cut in half. They finally figured out a way to solve clears. It comes on the power play, but still trail 2-1 as St. Louis Park takes a 2-1 lead into the room after 2.
Yeah, I thought a big goal though there for Waconia after having lots of power play opportunities, not being able to bury it. St. Louis Park scored on that rush on the great play by Neudecker, setting up his line mate Hopman, and 2-0 could turn into a tough task against the goaltender they're going up against. And now they got a little bit of confidence going. They head into the intermission with some confidence, so it should be an entertaining third period. Yeah,
very much look forward to that third period to see who advances to take on Breck in 2 nights here at Parade Ice Garden. Should make for an entertaining third period of action, so don't go anywhere. You're watching ParkTV Section 2A quarterfinal playoff action.
We have a job to do out here today.
To be a winning team, you have to work like a winning team.
My team depends on me.
And my team is 50,000 strong. Looks like a lot of work's going into this.
This is what it feels like to be part of a team.
A winning team.
The action team.
Get in on the action at actionteam.org. Are you in?
Second period, make that third period just about to get underway here at Parade Ice Garden. Thus far, St. Louis Park holding on to a 2-1 lead over the Waconia Wildcats. Kevin Falness along with Brandon Mileski bringing you Section 2A quarterfinal playoff action. What do you think, Brandon? 2-1 in favor of the Orioles with a third period left to go. I've seen some pretty good action and a key goal there for Waconia to close out the second period to keep them in it.
That was a key goal for Waconia to give them some confidence heading into this period. And for St. Louis Park, got to stay out of the penalty box. They had 3 penalties that period. 2 of them negated a good portion of their own power play. And of course, they had the power play goal for Waconia. When you get a goaltender like Connor Clares, who's not seeing a ton of scoring chances 5-on-5, there's one right there right off the bat.
And that'll tie it up right off the bat is right off the face-off. Colin Royce blows right down the middle and beats Clares on the blocker. Ties us up at 2 apiece with just a minute 5. Make that 5 seconds into the third period.
Yeah, I don't even know if that was 5 seconds in. Lots of speed there by Colin Royce, the right-hander, the junior, his 14th goal of the season. And you've seen a little trend here, though, on Connor Clares, the goaltender for St. Louis Park. They've gone up top twice and have scored twice up high. We'll see if they continue to try to expose that upper area of the net.
For Royce, that's the team leading 14th goal of the season to tie this thing up. Again, St. Louis Park up 2-0 at one point in the second period as they got goals from Lucas Savage and Hopman. It was the Waconia Wildcats that were able to cut the lead in half on the Fulkerson goal, power play goal at the end of the second. That made it 2-1, and now Royce just blows right down the middle of the ice and beats Clares on the blocker, ties the game at 2, and that's where we sit here early on in the third, a brand new hockey game. St. Louis Park with a shot there. That one goes to the wide of Ladiseur.
That was Remfer. And St. Louis Park, their defensemen love to jump up in the play. They get a lot of offense out of their defensemen. I've seen it a couple times on the forecheck, and they're on the rush. A good shot by Remfer.
One guy that they like to keep active is Hills. They talk a lot about Charlie Hills, how he's one of their most active defensemen, a guy to keep an eye on too, number 23 in the orange jersey.
Hasn't been as noticeable from an offensive standpoint tonight.
I'd agree.
You wonder if the ankle's hindering him a little bit.
Took a puck off the ankle 2 games ago, missed the game against Spring Lake Park. Back again, as Brandon mentioned earlier on, actually practiced in sweats yesterday, but back at full tilt today. Full tilt, relatively speaking, maybe not 100%, but still out there in what could be the final game of the season if things go awry. 15:23 left to go in the third. We are tied at 2 apiece from Parade Ice Garden. St. Louis Park taking on the Waconia Wildcats. I'm Kevin Falness. That's Brandon Mileski. Thanks also to Paul Broden and Kurt Meyer. Kurt doing a fine job there on the camera. Paul in the truck trying to keep warm as best possible. And here comes Waconia setting up shop to the left, to Claire's left. Now to his right, back behind the cage. Centering pass there, left on the point. Shot taken, kicked aside there by Claire's. Kallenberg from way up top, up into the netting, and we'll get a face-off. You
can tell what a goal can do for a team, because Waconia just looks like such a more confident team at this point. You know, they had gone, almost 5 periods without scoring on Connor Claire's St. Louis Park, and once that one opened the floodgates there at the end, and they score 5 seconds into this period, and now they're making some passes and moving the puck around in the offensive zone, stuff we haven't seen from them so far up until this point in the game. Yeah, they're definitely rejuvenated, no question about it. It started with that power play goal to cut it in half, and now here we are, tied at 2 goals apiece. 14.5 minutes left to go in this final third period. Boy, a big check there by Lucas Savage. Up high, got the elbows up maybe just a little bit. No call on the play. Might have gotten away with an interference too, because the guy he hit, I don't think ever had the puck. Just rocked his foundation. Here comes Waconia though, out of the offensive zone. Another skirmish right up in front. Late hit delivered there by Claire's. I'm sorry, by Weiland. That was Weiland on Bordewick. Game getting physical, getting a little intense here, and you're seeing some hits away from the play, which can be dangerous because you don't want to, get a dumb penalty at this point to a tie game in the third period of a section game. But a lot of times too, though, as you go through playoff games, the refs don't want to have to make those calls in the third period as well. We'll see how much leeway the referees give these players in terms of physical play here. To a degree, you like that, but you also don't want it to get out of hand. Here comes speed for St. Louis Park. Nice save there by Ladouceur. Shot taken by Greenbush. Ladouceur, another big save, and he'll get company to his right. And check out this replay. Watch how far Ladouceur comes out to challenge this play. I mean, he had to been all the way out at the hash marks by the time he makes that save. I mean, he was out cutting that angle off and took away every single part of that angle on the shot from the St. Louis Park forward. Really shuts it down. Hotman wins this faceoff, but defensively, nice effort there by Waconia, and here comes the Wildcats. Rubin with it in the offensive zone there for Waconia. Played by Rassman. And back comes St. Louis Park. Neudecker gets it out to the left wing. Played defensively by the Wildcats. This will be Fulkerson. Back to St. Louis Park again. Bit of a tennis match going back and forth through the neutral end. Each side of the red line, back and forth they go. Who knows, next shot could end the season for one of these two teams. This one's going to be Halfin. Another defensive play there by the Wildcats. Wisely. Dumped in by Park, momentarily offsides. They regroup. St. Louis Park is attempting to carry the puck into the zone and enter the zone with possession as opposed to dumping it in deep, and got caught a couple times there turning the puck over, and we'll see if that continues to be a strategy for the Orioles. Greeted by a purple fence at the blue line just about every time they try to enter the zone. Here it happens again. This one is going to give him a shot. He misses just wide to the right. Shot taken there. And that was Charlie Hills there that did a great job of anticipating the pass and picking that off. And Park again. Set up for Plender. Defensive stick work by Waconia. Tries to get it out. Now finally Waconia does, but just barely right in front of their own bench. Dumped in by Fortmeyer.
12 minutes left to go in this 2-2 hockey game. Bordewick with it. He tries to circle around. Back out to the point. This will be Fortmeyer. Big shot by Luka Savage. That one goes wide. Looking for a deflection and won't get it all the way down to the right of Clares.
It's a good job by the St. Louis Park defenseman. They're finding Luka Savage, who's all by himself there on the sidewall, having no one covering him, and he just missed that rocket of a shot well wide.
House has trouble handling it and finally gathered in by St. Louis Park. Defensively played by Kittleson. Back out to neutral ice. Big wipeout in front of Clares. Down to 11:22 in the period. And here comes St. Louis Park, trying to get it out of their zone. Luka Savage wipes out at the blue line, but gathers himself up and now has a chance down the right wing. One man to beat, and he's sprung. 2-on-0, shot, score! Luka Savage creates the offensive firepower, sticks one in under the crossbar, and it's 3-2 in favor of the Orioles. Second goal of the game for Luka Savage.
And it all started with a Waconia defenseman stepping up right at the blue line, got neither body or puck, and it was almost a 2-on-0/3-on-0. I don't even know if Luka Savage even noticed he had a line mate coming that he could have given a pass to, but he opts to shoot, and what a rocket, beautiful bar down right under the crossbar shot by Luka Savage.
You're right, when the smoke clears at 1 point, 1, 2, 3 offensive guys, Luka Savage keeps it, sticks it right underneath the crossbar.
Well, even once again, you saw a lot of sewer for Waconia, the goaltender. He came way out on that one, so there probably wasn't a lot of room to shoot. If he would have made the pass over, it would have been a wide open net, but luckily enough for him, he was able to hit that with pinpoint accuracy.
Very nice shot for Luka Savage, a good goal, a big one. It puts St. Louis Park back on top as they have yet to trail in this game, get their lead back. Lead 3-2 with 10:44 left to go in the period. Luka Savage, not only second of the game, but 9th of the season. Huge goal, 10:35 left to go in this final frame. 3-2 in favor of the Orioles, the number 8 seed here in the 2A quarterfinals. Waconia comes in as the number 9 seed. And here comes a chance now for the Wildcats. Sprung all the way through, goes in, it's finally kicked in. That's going to be questionable. The ref is calling, it was a delayed penalty anyway. Ref is pointing to the ice saying that it is a goal. But it looked like that could have went in with feet. I think they might have been calling a penalty shot regardless.
They are going to have a discussion. That definitely went off the skate. Whether it's a kicking motion or not, I guess that's another factor. I don't know if we're going to be able to see that on this replay. It did go off the skate. I don't know. The funny thing is that guy, Blake Wilsey, had a wide open shot. If he just would have put it in with a stick, it would have gone in. He whiffed on the initial shot. Now they're going to say no goal. It definitely went off the skate. You know, it was difficult to tell whether it was a kicking motion or not. But it's really hard to tell at full speed, and obviously they don't have the luxury of going to Toronto and seeing the instant replay.
Yeah.
But they should have a penalty as well. We'll see if they figure out that they had called a penalty on this with everything that's going on.
The ref had
Waconia should be on a power play.
Ref had the arm up in the air regardless, so there was going to be a penalty called. But it looks like what they're saying is that it was kicked in by the skate. So that calls off the penalty. They're talking to Benham right now, the head coach there for the Waconia Wildcats, trying to explain to him what's going on. And as of yet, they have not sent anyone over to the box. But it looks like that's coming up right now. So it'll be a fourth power play chance here for Waconia if they do in fact get the man advantage, and that's how they scored at the end of the second in the first place to cut the lead in half.
Well, now it looks like they're going to call a penalty shot off of this, so that was going to be the original call.
And that's kind of what I thought, because it looked like there was going to be a skirmish going in there, and so now here it comes, a penalty shot here for Waconia. It's going to be Jeff Balo on the chance. Got 3 goals on the season. This one with a chance to tie this game up at 3 apiece. Gathers it in, dances over the blue line, takes it, shot right into the belly button of Clares. Big save by Connor Clares. Keep Park on top 3-2. Weird sequence of events.
Yeah, we talked about both goals on Clares being up top, and I think that's where Balo wanted to go. Unfortunately for him, he put it right in the breadbasket of Connor Clares. Great job positioning by White. And here's that play once again. There was obviously almost 2 slashes by the St. Louis Park defenseman that caused Balo to draw at least the penalty shot. And you know, number 4 for Waconia is going to be regretting that one, because he had a chance at a wide open net and just putting it in with a stick. Missed it, goes off his skate. They do call the kicking violation. So no goal, and they miss out on the penalty shot. Big sequence for St. Louis Park.
Depending on what happens here over the course of the final 10 minutes, that could be your plays of the game, along with your save of the game on the penalty shot denied. And that keeps it a 3-2 advantage here for St. Louis Park. 9:58 left to go in this final period. Nice save there by Ladouceur. We'll get a face-off to his right.
It's definitely been an entertaining third period. We can't dispute that.
I think the entire game has been pretty entertaining.
A lot going on right now. And the intensity is picked up on the ice and off the ice as well. It's picked up.
Without a doubt, the crowd definitely into it. You can tell the St. Louis Park crowd a little more active. There's not much of a showing here for Waconia. A little bit more of a haul for them. St. Louis Park right up the road. And here comes Waconia. 3-on-2 if they hurry. Man beats him off the into the zone, but no offsides called. That was pretty clear to me.
Well, the linesman did have his hand up here on a delayed offsides. Don't know why he didn't call the normal offsides.
And here comes St. Louis Park. He's all alone down the left side. Boy, that was a nice line change there for Waconia. Just in the nick of time, they get off the bench. They scramble to keep St. Louis Park from getting a good shot. Widboom was the guy for St. Louis Park with the chance there.
Yeah, last thing you want for Waconia when you have the two defensemen changing behind you is have the turnover at the far blue line. They had it, but a great job of scrambling by the defenseman to get back and break up that play.
High stick there, no call again. St. Louis Park with it here, trying to defend their turf. And here comes TJ Remfer with it. Taking it in by himself. Rubbed off the puck into the ref. Back in front of Waconia's bench. Dumped in here by Nick Owens. Lucas Savage with it. He's got a pair of goals here. If we had a 3 stars of the game to this point, he'd definitely probably be the #1 star with his 2-goal output. Lucas Savage in prime real estate there. Can't quite get one in on Ladouceur.
I like that shot from Bordewick there from a, not a great angle shot, but just throw it low, throw it right at Ladouceur's feet, and sometimes it can go in, score it in that way, or you get a nice rebound, pops out.
Big turnover here, shot taken. That's going to hit the shin pads of Waconia, but a nice chance for Hoffman. And here comes Waconia looking for that game-tying goal. 7:53 left to go in regulation. 3-2 in favor of St. Louis Park. Here comes Lucas Savage with it. That's for about the same place where he scored his last goal. This one he's going to be rubbed out into the boards, no call. Here comes Waconia with it. It'll be Wisely looking for the shot. He scores! Leaves it over there for his forward, Sam Schiffman. Delivers the game-tying goal with 7:38 left to go in regulation. We're knotted at 3 goals apiece.
You've seen Waconia try to make the stretch pass to the neutral zone. They do it to Wilsey. He kind of has a semi-break there. Both defensemen converge on him. So when he loses the puck, both those St. Louis Park defensemen get tied up. All of a sudden, Schiffman picks up that puck all alone in the slot. A nice wrister, low far side. And the entertaining third period continues.
So Schiffman with his 7th of the year gives it back to an even game. And again, 7.5 minutes left to go in regulation. We have a brand new hockey game tied at 3 goals apiece. A chance here for St. Louis Park. More prime real estate. Getting a little bit crazy here towards the end of regulation. Again, season on the line. Loser goes home. Their season is done. The winner advances to face off against Breck. Les Larson treated to a show here as he's in the stands scouting his next opponent. Les has been around the game for quite a while, and he's been with Breck for quite a while as well.
It's been a pretty good program in recent years. Multiple state tournament appearances for Breck.
They've had a real good setup over there at Breck, and I'm sure they've got their sights set on big things this year. And they'll be taking on the winner of this game in 2 nights here, back again at Parade. That's going to be a penalty to St. Louis Park. Interference, the call, as Widboom goes to the box.
Yeah, behind the play over by the St. Louis Park bench.
And check that, it'll be Greenbush.
Yeah, Greenbush was, I don't think that was intentional. I think he was going to the bench to make a line change. All of a sudden, I think he just accidentally ran in. I don't even know if he ever had his hand, just kind of 2 guys bumping, and the Waconia forward didn't see it as well and fell over, and all of a sudden a big power play opportunity here for Waconia.
Major league key moment in this game as Waconia has already scored on the power play at one point. Now they get their, I believe, 4th advantage here. They're 1 for 3, 1 for 3 or 1 for 4 on the power play to this point in the hockey game. A key couple of moments here as we got 1:42 left to go. On the power play, Wildcats looking for their first lead of the game. 6:16 left to go in regulation. Waconia scrambles back into their own end. Lucas Savage in pursuit. You talk about his penalty kill. Nice forecheck there. Set up with a nice prime real estate scoring there for Owens. And instead, it's Waconia that gathers it in. Bad turnover there for Waconia. Almost paid a big price. Nice defensive play there by St. Louis Park. That'll be Remfer with it. Back to the point here for Waconia. Big drive on net. Covered there by Clares. Big windup from the point by Benson. And we'll get a face-off. 1:05 left to go on the power play. 5:44 left to go in regulation.
You can just tell as this game is going on how much more confident Waconia is with the puck. You know, they're making some good passes. Get that puck out to the point. A nice, hard, low shot. Clares, with the initial save, it did punch out there temporarily, but he did a good job of jumping on it right away.
At the point, here's Benson for Waconia. Looking for their first lead of the game. 5:35 left to go in regulation. 55 seconds left to go in the all-important man advantage here for the Wildcats attack. Benson with it, leaves it over to it, and it's a shot and a goal. Centering pass tried there by Fulkerson, redirected back behind Clares, and all of a sudden, like I said, first lead of the game for Waconia. They go up 4-3 on their second power play goal.
Yeah, they start off in a little overload here, and Fulkerson finds himself all alone. Not sure if that hit the Oriole defenseman in front and deflected in, but they didn't come out and approach him and meet him out at the point of attack on the shot there. And what a period so far for Waconia, but still 5:26 to go. Still plenty of time for St. Louis Park to tie this thing up.
If Fulkerson does get it, it's his second goal of the game. Both of them coming on the power play. It'll be his 12th goal of the season. He also scored the first goal of the game for Waconia to cut the lead in half at 2-1 at the end of the second. And this would be a pretty key goal here with 5:22 left to go in regulation. 4-3, Waconia with their first lead of the contest.
And a clearing attempt just hit the head coach, Terry Keesley, on the backside.
Ouch.
But looks like he's okay.
5:15 and counting. Season on the line here for St. Louis Park. This will be Hopman with it for the Orioles. Shot directed towards Ladisor, kicked aside to the right. Played it by it in the near corner. Neudecker with a shot. That one is blocked wide. Big check there by Fort Wengler. Over now for Rubin. Rubin dumps it into the Park zone. Played by Fort Meyer. Bad pass there for St. Louis Park. Waconia able to take it in. Drag some more time off the clock. Down to 4:34 in the season here for the St. Louis Park Orioles. First time of this game having to try to rally. Down 4-3 after 1 point, leading 2-zip and up 3-2. Pair of goals in succession by Waconia have given them the 4-3 lead. Down to 4:16 and counting. That's icing on the play. Big draw coming up here for St. Louis Park in the offensive end.
You know, even though St. Louis Park's on goal, I really think they need to kind of simplify things on offense. You know, you saw in that rush there, trying to make that pass across the slot for the redirection when at some point you need to just throw the puck on the net, and they really haven't challenged Ladisor too much here in the third period.
Woodboom wins the faceoff here for St. Louis Park. Woodboom again with it in the near corner in the St. Louis Park offensive zone. That's Remfer. Back for Hames. Hames to his defensive partner. That's going to be Charlie Hills. Hills can't get a shot through. And there's that purple wall once again in front of Ladisor, helping out their goaltender. Down to 3:45 left to go in regulation. Back to the point again. This is Hames. Leaves it over for Halfin. Delayed penalty here coming up. The Park Orioles are going to get the power play. I'm pretty sure this is against Waconia.
Yeah, it's going to be against Waconia. St. Louis Park have possession. It's going to be a high stick. It was kind of behind the play, I believe.
So to the box goes Nick Molinari, and as big as the power play was for Waconia when they went up 4-3, Huge moment in the game here for the St. Louis Park Orioles. Back on the power play, 3:32 left to go in regulation, and they'll play with the man advantage.
I think on that penalty, Puck got back to the point, and he was tying up in front of the net and tried to lift up the stick and ended up hitting him in the head.
Fortmeyer with it here, takes a shot, wrist wide of Ladouceur. Lucas Savage with it here. He's got a pair of goals on the evening. Over for Bordewick. Shot taken by Hames. That stick aside, covered up by Ladouceur. Little stick work there by Park, not appreciated by the Wildcats. No more damage. Face off to the left of Ladouceur. 3:13 left to go in regulation. Minute 41 left to go on the St. Louis Park power play.
Yeah, shot from the point. You saw a second chance opportunity. That second chance almost squirted through Ladouceur there, who was a little out of position on the left side, and it's getting physical in front of the net after these whistles.
Owens with it here on the right face-off dot. Back to Hames. Back to Owens. Bordewick with it here. Bordewick back with it behind the net. Bordewick dances. Leaves it for Owens. Point shot for Fortmeyer. His is blocked. Bordewick with it now. Top of the left circle. Shoots it in. A big save. Glove save. Make that a right pad save by Ladouceur. Park back behind the net again. Minute 6 left to go on the power play. Bordewick with it. Back to the point. Looking for a deflection. Doesn't come that time. Owens with it now. 55 seconds left to go in the man advantage. Half over with the power play. Hames keeps it in the zone. Bordewick with it again. Bordewick back to the point for Hames. Hames takes a shot. That one, blocker save. Lucas Savage takes a baseball-style swing, misses on the connection.
If he would have connected, there was an open net there.
And here's Lucas Savage again, looking for the hat trick, but Ladouceur shuts down the angle. Nothing doing. 31 seconds left to go on the power play, down to 2:03 in Park season as they trail 4-3 on the scoreboard.
And right there at the end, Lucas Savage in tight, really because of the way the Waconia defenseman was converging on him, couldn't move it around to the outside, tried to do a little 5-hole shot there, but Ladouceur closes it up for Waconia.
Face-off won again by St. Louis Park. Bauer Neudecker to the left of the cage. Defensive stick work there by Waconia. It's Kittleson that gets it back out to neutral ice, and we're going to have a high stick call.
Yeah, violation as the puck was being cleared. St. Louis Park plays it as a high stick, so now they have to go all the way back into their own zone and get a defensive zone face-off with only 17 seconds left in this power play and 1:49 here left in the third period. So we'll see at some point here in the next 30 seconds or so if Connor Clares comes out of the net for St. Louis Park.
Here we go. Neudecker with it at neutral ice. 3 Waconia Wildcats in defense. All the way down to the other end. That'll just about kill off the entire power play. 1 second and back to full strength are the Wildcats. 1:29 left to go in regulation. St. Louis Park still playing from the behind, down 4-3 here, after Waconia puts forth a valiant comeback effort to take the lead here in the third period. Minute 15 left to go. Waconia doing everything they can to just drag time off the clock. That's not the way they want to do it, though. Man to the goaltender to the bench for the extra attacker. Shot taken there by St. Louis Park. That one doesn't quite reach the end zone. Minute left to go. 1 minute left to go in regulation. Kept in at the point by Charlie Hills. Charlie Hills back to Lucas Savage. Looking for that third goal of the game. Takes the shot. Covered by Ladouceur. He's on his belly. Gets his glove on the puck. And again, a bit of a skirmish there right in front of Ladouceur. 49 seconds left to go in regulation. 4-3. Waconia on top.
Wonderful get a timeout here from St. Louis Park. A lot of their first line, second line guys are pretty tired, and with 49 seconds left, you'd like to put those same guys back on the ice. But number 11, Curtis Greenbush there, causing a lot of issue. I thought it was almost going to be in the crease. He was really up tight against Steven Ladouceur, the goaltender for Waconia. And I think that's what they got to do here in the last 49 seconds, Kevin. They've spent a lot of time controlling the puck on the perimeter, but they're not really getting anything to the net. They don't really have a lot of a net presence other than that last play from Greenbush. And at some point, you need to be less picky with your shots and just get it to the net, and especially now that you're going to have an extra guy, see if you can outnumber them.
Season on the line. That's what's left at stake here for St. Louis Park. Terry Keesley calls the timeout, so it gives us a chance to regroup as well. This is how we got to this point. Lucas Savage, the only goal of the first period, gives St. Louis Park the 1-0 lead. Second period, it's Hopman that gives the Park Orioles the 2-0 advantage. Back comes Waconia, cuts the lead in half on the power play. End of the second, Fulkerson with his first of the night, 11th of the season. Then back comes, it was Royce that was again scores for Waconia, ties the game at 2. Lucas Savage puts St. Louis Park back on top 3-2. Then one of the key moments of the game. Bacon denied on the power play. Barlow, make that Balo. It was denied on the penalty shot, and it looked like that was going to be maybe the momentum shift that Park needed to keep this in their favor. But instead, it's Waconia. They rebound. It's Schiffman, ties the game at 3. Then Fulkerson, his second of the night, 12th of the season, puts Waconia up 4-3 on the power play. And that's where we sit. With 49 seconds left to go, it's Waconia holding on to the 4-3 advantage. Season on the line here for St. Louis Park. Back underway, 46 seconds left to go. St. Louis Park controlling it. Again, they've got the empty net, empty cage to our right. So they're skating 6-on-5, looking for that game-tying goal.
Oh, he had him.
Definitely nice setup there by Nick Owens, but it couldn't find the trigger was Charlie Hills. Another shot taken. That one might have hit the outside of the net for Lucas Savage. Nice defensive play there by Waconia. They'll get it outside the zone, and they're down to 22 seconds left to go in their season. Open cage yawning at Waconia on the other end. They can't get a shot on net. And here comes St. Louis Park. Shot taken, then that one gets to the blue paint. But a nice skate save by Ladouceur. 8 seconds left to go. Puck tied up in the far corner. St. Louis Park doing everything they can to get that thing free. They finally do. It's Neudecker with it. And that is going to bring the end to the season for the St. Louis Park Orioles. It's Waconia that hangs on in a stirring come-from-behind victory to take down St. Louis Park. Wildcats 4, Orioles 3.
Yeah, what else can you say? A very entertaining, very interesting game, especially in the third period. You got to give credit to Waconia. Very resilient, not only coming back from a 2-0 deficit, but to be down 3-2 and have that scenario where you had this puck kicked in with a skate that was disallowed, and then the penalty shot in which you get denied, and for them to keep fighting and get 2 more goals off of that, and then hold off at the end there, just almost playing a penalty kill with 5 guys out there, just playing almost like a box and one, an X in their own zone. And a very impressive, resilient effort by Waconia tonight. I'm
going to put you on the spot. Give me your #1 star of the game. It's easy to point towards Fulkerson with his pair of goals, including the game winner. Is he our guy?
Sure, yeah, Fulkerson, 2 goals, both on the power play, and obviously the game winner there in the third period, big-time goal for them. And yeah, definitely, there's lots of guys that definitely shine tonight. If you look at St. Louis Park, number 5, Lucas Savage, yeah, with the 2 big goals, and really, probably one of the best offensive players all night. Not even from scoring a goal, but controlling the puck and using his big frame to shield off defenders. And you also have to give credit to the Waconia goaltender. I think we even talked about it ourselves. Connor Clays was kind of the bigger name of the 2 coming into this game, and Ladouceur's had some issues at points throughout this year, and he really shut the door down there at the end of the third period.
So that'll take care of the action tonight from Parade Ice Garden. Again, St. Louis Park falls short. They lose to Waconia. 4-3 is the final. That means the Waconia Wildcats advance to take on Breck 2 nights from now at Parade Ice Garden. That one will start at 8 o'clock. We'll check that one out at Parade Ice Garden. St. Louis Park ends the season 9-15-2. A little bit of a run here towards the end after a 4-win season last year. 9 wins as they wrap up the year in 2014. So that'll take care of the action from this Section 2A quarterfinal playoff action. I'm Kevin Falness for Brandon Mileski, Paul Broden, and Kurt Meyer. Thanks for checking us out, and we'll catch you next time right here on ParkTV.